The secret buried in the northern tomb leaves millions astonished. Hello and welcome back, dear viewers, to the latest episode of Top Secret. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, Vung Chua, Yen Island is the eternal resting place of General Von Nguyen Giap, the illustrious military leader of the Vietnamese people. As the general of the people, he wrote the most glorious pages in human history. However, few people know that over 10 years ago, right on this sacred land of Quang Binh, a bizarre phenomenon occurred at the Bac Giap burial site, leaving researchers baffled and still unanswered to this day. Lightning bolt of the earth. This person has deciphered countless mysterious spiritual phenomena such as spirit summoning, ghost possession, psychic mediums, and can be compared to Master Tao. After witnessing it firsthand, he uncovered many strange spiritual mysteries at the resting place of General Von Nguyen Giap. What is that secret? Join us to uncover it in today's special program. For a long time, Dr. Vu Bang has been renowned nationwide for successfully inventing the TIA-DAT measuring device to map the groundwater network and underground geological layers. Dr. Vu Bang spent decades diligently researching, using his own funds and applying modern physics knowledge to discover the phenomenon of magnetic radiation. Many scientists believe this is a groundbreaking discovery, capable of bringing significant changes to the field of electromagnetism. He also proposed a new hypothesis explaining the origin of Earth's magnetic field. In short, Mr. Bang possesses an extremely effective and precise method for identifying groundwater sources. Many organizations have verified this, and in fact, he has also successfully assisted numerous businesses and individuals in thoroughly resolving this persistent issue. Dr. Bang shared that he owes a profound debt of gratitude to the land of Quang Binh. It was merely a coincidence that he assisted the People's Committee of Quang Binh Province and several local project management units, finding water sources in arid, rugged terrains. It was right in the honorable and industrial zone that he discovered a massive underground water source, far surpassing all previous water exploration methods. Fate once again brought him to the land of Quang Binh when he was invited to search for a water source for the family of a Vietnamese legend, General Von Nguyen Giap. In 2006, he was invited to Vung Chua, Dao Yen to search for water sources. He himself had no idea that very place would become the eternal resting ground of General Von Nguyen Giap. On a summer morning, Dr. Bang suddenly received a call from an unfamiliar phone number. That driver introduced himself as Vo Dien Bien, the son of General Von Nguyen Giap. Mr. Vo Dien Bien, on behalf of his family, expressed the wish to seek your assistance in locating underground water sources in the Vung Chua Dao Yen area. This job is extremely difficult due to the cramped plot of land and the fragmented, complex terrain, leaving our family constantly weighed down by worry. At that time, Dr. Bang recalled, Mr. Pham Van Luong, Deputy Director of the Department of Natural Resources and Environment of Quang Binh Province once said, "The western part of the province is entirely rugged high mountains, making groundwater very scarce, while the eastern side is a vast coastal plain. This area has a small, narrow land area, and its water sources are saline, especially during high tide. Vung Chua, Yen Island lies entirely within this area, now a famous destination, but in the past, it was a pristine and little-known place. In reality, Hunla is better known for its role as an open economic zone with various industrial projects and activities. It is also known for a series of failures in locating groundwater sources. At one point, the search for groundwater in this area was nearly at a dead end, with numerous projects on the verge of collapse if no underground water source could be found." Mr. Pham Van Luong stated that many agencies, along with scientists and experts in the fields of hydrogeology and geophysics, have conducted research. A survey and exploration of groundwater sources in this area was conducted, but none were detected. Vung Chua is perhaps even more pristine, with a barren strip of land stretching about 2,500 meters long but only a mere 200 meters wide, completely shielded by a mountain range jutting out from the north. To the east and west lie rolling hills, while to the south stretches the vast sea with its murmuring waves. Tien Di Bang still remembers engineer Le Van Quang, director of Dong Hoi Groundwater Construction and Exploitation Company Limited. There was a time when his company, along with many other reputable research organizations, had to admit defeat. Yen Vung Chua Cave is classified by geologists as the most water-scarce area in the province. Mr. Quang stated that precisely for this reason, accepting the task of locating underground water sources at Vung Chua, Dao Yen demonstrated Dr. Di Bang's absolute confidence. Before setting off, Vo Dien Bien reminded Tien Di Bang, "We want to determine whether groundwater exists in Vung Chua, and if so, its exact location." We need a unit that can quickly identify water veins to avoid digging multiple ineffective wells. We trust you will complete this task well. A few days later, Tien Di Bang and senior geotechnical hydrological engineer Nguyen Trong Hon set off for Quang Binh. His heart filled with unease, Lo O and several of the Grand General's family members set off. This passage mentions Professor Vo Hong An and Mrs. Vo Hua Bin, the two daughters of the Grand General. She departed from Hanoi early in the morning and arrived in Quang Dong Commune, Quang Trac District by evening. That night, they stayed at a hotel by the Lone Ron River. The next morning, the group headed upstream toward Hun La Port, making their way toward Dao Yen Pagoda. On the way to the scene, the team stopped to eat instant noodles at a crossroads near Hun La Port. That caretaker is simply someone hired to oversee the temple grounds. Currently, this place has become the headquarters of the Dong Sun Company's executive board, the unit responsible for implementing the Dao Yen, Feng Chua resort project. After surveying the land, Tien Di Bang, a feng shui expert, was utterly amazed to discover that the Earth's energy veins here were exceptionally auspicious. He now affirms that choosing this green land as the final resting place for General Giap was an immensely meaningful decision. Mr. Bang studied the map, observed the terrain, and realized the majestic geological formation here, the Trong Sun Range stretching out to the sea, forming a uniform mountain range as solid as a fortress wall. Upon re-examining the geology of this place, one finds only barren land and rocks, yet it was precisely the cradle that gave birth to countless legends of eminent figures from ages past. At the foot of Wan Sun Quan lies a small village called Min Sun. Though poor and sparsely populated, the village preserves many ancient relics, the most prominent of which is the sacred temple of Princess Lu Han. The small temple nestled beneath the towering mountain range has been sacred for over 500 years, revered not only by local residents but also by neighboring regions such as Nguyen, Ha Tin, Tan Hoa, and Hong Ki, all of whom pay devout homage to it year after year. The mountain ranges stretch endlessly through Min Sun village, dividing the land into scattered small valleys. Over thousands of years of formation, nature has crafted exquisitely picturesque small islands, including Hon La, Mui Ong, Hon Ko, Dao Yen, Dao Chim, Hon Nam, and Hon Bok. Since ancient times, there has been a place regarded by many as profoundly sacred. This sacred place is reserved solely for the nation's founding heroes or the most eminent scholars of unparalleled merit to rest eternally, so they may continue to bless the land and safeguard everlasting peace for generations to come. Flesh and blood humans cannot be buried in this place when they die. That place doesn't appear on Google Maps, nor is it mentioned in the search results of this tool. In ancient documents recording the history of Ngong Pass as well as the Quang Binh region over the past several hundred years, this name has never been mentioned. Only the most astute elders in the region knew that this was the hiding place of a man who had rendered great service to his homeland, the Dragon's Cape. At the foot of Mui Rong Mountain lies a stunning pine valley. Beak Peak, standing majestically against the sky, the mountain. Hua Tran. The mountain peak bears the hue of a sacred dragon, stretching straight toward the southeast. The vast sea embraces the Dragon's Beach and Swallow Islands, with gentle winds blowing. This sacred land boasts harmonious feng shui and an exquisitely beautiful dragon vein. If any hero rests here, the dragon's head is the sacred heart of heaven and earth, the last untouched place on ancient maps, the peaceful wilderness where the hero sleeps in eternal slumber. The location was already ideal, but the groundwater issue still worried many Europeans. That morning, right at 7:30, the group hurriedly set out again to search for water veins at Feng Chua. Dr. Bang outlined a 2.5 km survey route, starting from Dragon Cape along the foot of the mountain, then returning via a coastal path of equal length. Everyone in the group held their breath, watching every step and movement of Dr. Bang. He had only a very simple anemometer, handmade by himself, covered on his hand. A relative of the general carried a pendulum made by Dr. Bang. This type of pendulum is commonly used by dowsers to locate underground water sources. The entire group walked in silence, no one speaking a word to anyone else, the air stifling with tension. The scorching summer sun, blazing like fire, only made their moods heavier. At around 9 a.m., the first signal appeared. Along with the rectangular metal wire, the machine's sensor unit began to rotate. There's water now. No one expected the water signal to come so quickly. Everyone hurried to mark the spot. Some hacked at the bushes with knives, others cleared a path through the undergrowth. The area showing signs of groundwater spans 90 meters in length. Using a specialized formula, Dr. Bang determined the water vein lies at a depth of approximately 45 meters. The first drilling point was determined at the center of the radiation funnel's width. After connecting the wire frame to the measuring device, Dr. Bang estimated that the obtained water flow rate could reach 1.5 cubic meters per hour. All hopes rest on this key position, as it lies right next to the stilt house, in the central area of the project. Clock. A second vein was discovered near a small creek, about half a kilometer from the first vein. According to calculations, this water source has a depth of 55 meters but a better flow rate than the first one, capable of reaching 2 cubic meters per hour. In the afternoon, the team continued their surveying work. As they advanced deeper into the area near the entrance of the Temple Lagoon, they discovered the third water vein. This water source is located at a depth of 70 meters, with a flow rate greater than the two previous sources, reaching approximately 3 cubic meters per hour. The survey took a total of 1.5 days, including the first day for general measurements and the following half-day for rechecking. According to the information provided by TND Bang, the most crucial task now is to conduct exploratory drilling to verify the accuracy of that data. No one said it out loud, but everyone was half convinced, half doubtful about TND Bang's overly simple machine. Dong Sun Company immediately sought a drilling team. TND Bang promptly introduced one from Dong Hoi City. He successfully drilled at multiple locations in Quang Binh after conducting surveys. The result was that after more than 3 months of relentless drilling, at the first predicted location, the first borehole reached a depth of 45 meters when water suddenly gushed out, causing everyone to burst into overwhelming joy. However, as initially predicted, this water source has a fairly small flow rate. While drilling the second hole, an incident occurred. The drilling, which had lasted for 15 days, got stuck due to the drilling tool falling to the bottom of the well. A new hole needs to be drilled approximately 1 meter away from the stuck reverse hole. After 20 days of construction, this drilling was completed with actual parameters for depth and water flow fully meeting expectations. At a depth of 30 meters, water was found, with a flow rate of 1 cubic meter per hour. At the first 2 drilling locations, the total water flow reached 3 cubic meters per hour, equivalent to 72 cubic meters per day. Encouraged by this success, we decided to leave the third water source untapped. TND Bang breathed a sigh of relief as his work had succeeded beyond expectations. Thanks to this achievement, I also had the opportunity to become closely associated with the family of General Giap. Sometime later, I was reassigned to conduct soil environmental inspections in the Vung Chua, Yen Island area. TND Bang recounted, house number 30 on Hoang Dieu Street, the private residence of General Giap, was also surveyed multiple times by TND Bang to assess its terrain. One of these measurements was to determine the location for drilling groundwater extraction, aimed at serving garden irrigation and reviving the miniature mountain landscape within the premises. The general once said that he didn't want to waste public water resources on such things. I have completed my work with all pride and honor. From ancient times to the present, Vietnamese people have always been very careful when selecting land to build homes or place burial grounds. The first step is to select a good plot of land, avoiding unfavorable locations. To find auspicious land and steer clear of inauspicious sites, the ancients often applied feng shui principles, giving rise to professionals in this field known as geomancers. Feng shui stories often carry a mystical and hard-to-explain aura, so many people hastily label them as superstitious nonsense. In Western countries, people do not typically apply feng shui but instead use a different method. This involves detecting and addressing hidden energy currents emanating from the earth, commonly referred to simply as earth rays. When it comes to earth rays, many people still mistakenly believe this is a phenomenon with spiritual overtones. However, according to Dr. Bang, this is a phenomenon that can be fully explained by science with clear evidence. All matter contains electromagnetic field radiation, this is their fundamental physical nature. According to Dr. Bang, in the field of soil environment, this phenomenon is called step radiation field, or simply referred to as earth rays. However, earth rays have 2 distinct origins, including primary and secondary. The primary earth ray originates from the inherent nature of matter as mentioned, requiring no further analysis. Secondary earth rays form when matter is in a state of motion or when 2 objects with distinctly different mineral compositions come into contact. Primary earth rays typically have weak intensity and only propagate within a narrow range. Meanwhile, secondary earth rays are more intense, often spreading farther and rising above the ground across a vast area. If we could measure the earth rays emitted by materials underground, we would detect their presence, even if they lie deep beneath the surface. To identify Earth rays, it is necessary to teach the problem of electromagnetic interaction while establishing the relationship between secondary electromagnetic fields and various types of sensors and scanners. This is the fundamental principle of the geopathic step method researched by Dr. Bang. He is also the pioneer in studying geopathic steps and the practical applications of this method. Besides areas with harmful Earth rays, there are also places with extremely beneficial Earth rays. Living in this land, people thrive with vitality, nourished by its enlightened essence. This is the foundation that fosters regions of profound wisdom and exceptional talent. The ancients believed that finding auspicious land to bury their ancestors would bring prosperity and blessings to future descendants. Places with strong energy are where beneficial Earth rays exist. Harmful Earth rays can cause people to fall ill. Conversely, areas with beneficial Earth rays often have healing effects. After discovering and thoroughly studying this physical phenomenon, Dr. Vu Bang began developing a device capable of detecting and measuring Earth rays. At first, he used the available geological equipment in the world to test whether the unique magnetic fields of objects buried deep underground could be detected. However, the results yielded no signals whatsoever, even when using ground-penetrating radar, the most advanced equipment at the time. After numerous trials, he suddenly realized that his Earth ray principle was entirely different from traditional geological methods. The general principle of traditional methods involves using a transmitter to send an electric current into the ground, after which a receiver records the returning voltage. This current, after passing through layers of material such as soil, rock, ore, or underground water veins, generates a reflected signal. From this, the characteristic resistivity of the surveyed objects can be calculated. However, this method has a relatively large margin of error, making it difficult to accurately determine the type of material existing underground. Not to mention, this method would be impossible to carry out in complex terrain or harsh weather conditions. Refusing to give up, he tirelessly continued his research and ultimately succeeded in creating a machine that operated exactly according to his principles. After exactly 2 years of research, 2004 to 2006, the BXT-09 terrestrial and radiation meter was officially completed. The capabilities of this machine are truly remarkable. Most astonishing is its ability to detect remains, skeletal remains, with extremely high accuracy. According to Dr. Bang's analysis, when 2 sets of remains lie in the ground, they emit a special type of wave. Ordinary people can still receive these waves but cannot decode their meaning. 2 underground water streams emit harmful Earth rays. If a house's foundation lies above these 2 water streams, the occupants will suffer negative health effects or frequently experience nightmares. To complete the process, first move the 2 cores to another location, then use suitable materials to neutralize any remaining harmful Earth rays. When detecting harmful Earth rays, you can use activated charcoal to neutralize them. Activated charcoal is highly effective at absorbing electromagnetic fields. In other words, it helps demagnetize efficiently. In the West, people often use quartz to neutralize Earth rays. However, this type of stone is quite rare and significantly more expensive than neutralizing coal. You can spread activated charcoal on the floor, or simply place a bag of activated charcoal in each corner of the house. After 2 years, if the Earth's rays continue to exert influence, the soil will reach a new saturation state. Stories of Dr. Bang using a detector to locate remains are too numerous to count, but we will only recount the cases that have been verified as absolutely accurate. In early 2008, before starting excavation for the foundation of a house at 64D, Alley 64, Van Ho Street, La Dai Han Ward, Hanoi, Ms. Dao, the homeowner, invited Dr. Bang to survey the Earth radiation environment for the upcoming house construction. The key parameters to measure include Earth rays, radon gas, and underground water veins. After a day of measurements using specialized equipment, Dr. Bang confirmed that the construction site showed the presence of radioactive gas and Earth rays at an intensity of 4 out of 5 points, covering the entire area. And most importantly, within the construction-restricted area, the sea burial remains were placed at 4 different locations. The graves and remains have been clearly identified by the machine with necessary parameters such as current location, unrelocated status, lying direction, head and foot positions. The depth ranges from 1.7 to 1.9 meters below ground level. The next day, Sister Dao immediately mobilized workers to dig and search for the whale bones. When digging to a depth of 1.7 meters at the first location in the corner of the plot without finding anything, Ms. Dao immediately reported to Dr. Bang over the phone. Dr. Bang explained that the depth cannot be determined with absolute precision and may vary slightly. Following the instructions, Ms. Dow continued digging. After about half an hour, she reported finding whale bones at a depth of 1.8 meters. The skull of the deceased remained intact, with the upper and lower jaws tightly clenched together. The passenger bus with license plate 48K5856 plunged into a river while passing through Gizon district, Ha Tin, resulting in 20 fatalities. Perhaps many still remember it vividly. However, few people know that Dr. Bang and his measuring device were actually one of the key factors in locating that missing car. Dr. Bang recounted that on the afternoon of October 20, 2010, when he arrived at the scene of the drifting passenger bus, many people confirmed that the vehicle was located about 1 kilometer from the Tui Ferry Terminal, drifting downstream. Captain Win Fong had already joined the search for the vehicle. After some explanation and persuasion, everyone agreed to let me participate as well. Dr. Bang assessed that the vehicle, weighing tens of tons, was unlikely to have been swept far away. He then directed the deployment of an excavator from the spot where the vehicle had drifted, moving downstream along the flow to conduct the search. Just 15 minutes later, the machine detected the signal. Dr. Bang immediately ordered the dive team to check it out. Go deep. Just a few minutes later, they had to resurface and report that they couldn't. Meanwhile, the machine maintained a stable rotation angle on the right side. Dr. Bang firmly confirmed that there were victims in this area and requested the engineering unit to focus on the search.